But yeah, it's really depends on how you look at it. We make, like I said, we make money. It's not the greatest money. Can things always be better? Yes. Do I think we're making 50-50 on the revenue shares? No. So in that regards, can we be getting paid more? I think absolutely. But it's hard to know those type of information, those type of details based on not ever being able to see the books of what the UFC makes, and will we ever be able to see those books? I don't think they're going to hand it over to us. But yeah, so until then, it's really hard to say. But at this point in time, from to me, I don't think we're on. I think the fighters are second in terms of the company, which is why they predominantly promote UFC and not really promoting individual fighters, because you don't really want the fighters to start becoming bigger than their organization, I guess. This way, you spend a ton of money on them. I don't. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this. It's a lot, but
Mm.
I try to stay as educated on it as I possibly can. But yeah, man, I don't know. I definitely think some things could definitely change for sure.
But after you see what happened after Connor coming like outspoken and backing it up at the same time, and everyone thought that with that happening, it would kind of force them to pay the guys better though, pay us better money. But since he fought Floyd, it's like it's all gone back to square one.
Going back to square one,
In
I don't know.
in the sense
I
of you
will
don't really
say,
see.
kind of came in. He called his shots. He made his money. Said what he was gonna do, and based on the numbers, he pretty much renegotiated his deal per fight, which was pretty insane to me because not we don't get that liberty to renegotiate our deal after the last fight. Um, yeah, so I guess that's the difference between Connor and the rest of us. And people say you guys should try to be more like Connor. I'm like, well, we don't have an entire country behind us, and the U.S. they don't really get behind their fighters like the other countries get behind their guys because there's so few of them, and it's not over there as often. When you do get somebody reputable and who's doing so well and excelling at such a high level, you have no choice but to want to get behind that guy. And that's what happened with Connor. He's got all of Ireland. He's got all the TV stations behind him. People love and adore him over there. And he comes over here, he gets to demand those shots because he is pulling in those numbers overseas and he's pulling in big numbers in the States. So it's only right that he can be able to do something like that. It's just a very tough task for a fighter like myself
Yeah,
or any of us who haven't actually won the belt to actually do something like that. And that's where it becomes an unfair advantage because we don't really get that exposure to see if people will actually, I guess, take to us.
so I got to ask you, man, because this is something that we always talk about over here. You have Jamaican descent, same as myself.
Yeah.
You was born in Jamaica, was it? Yeah.
No, no, my parents and my grandparents.
That's an avenue for you right there.
Yeah.
Training camps in Jamaica, and the country would get behind you.
No, I've been down there. I was down there for a week, doing some charity stuff and teaching some free seminars and stuff like that down there in August after my fight with Henan Barrow. And so I took a lot of like videos and stuff, but I didn't actually put together any like collective artwork or collective piece on the actual trip itself. But I got a ton of footage from that, just teaching and working with the kids and all that stuff, and just traveling the islands. And my sister actually got married down there. She was actually born down there. I had a couple sisters and brothers that were born down there, but before my parents moved up to the States.
That's a country right there because those guys, if you claim them, they claim you, and it's
Yeah,
different because I
yeah,
mean there's a lot of guys out there in the States, and it's very hard to kind of separate yourself from the rest. You connect yourself with the island, the fans are gonna get behind you, and that's the fans worldwide. I'm not saying they're not behind you now, but then you're shining outside of the rest of the American guys. Because I mean, Connor, that's practically what Connor did. That's part of his
yeah,
game.
yep. Well, I gotta get a nice little win streak going again, so I can really build up that momentum. I think if I had to win that last fight, I think things would be much different right now. But surprisingly, I got a pretty good push from the media, and I got a really good reception from the fans. Although I lost like that, but so it's still cool to see like people still tuned in and still looking to follow me and things like that. But because it's such a fickle sport. You win one day, you're the man, and as soon as you lose, everyone's kind of like on to the next train. So you just gotta try to keep everything in perspective. But I definitely the last two fights I've definitely been trying to make that push to let it be known that I do have a Jamaican background. It's just haven't no one's has actually been talking about it in terms of the interviews and stuff. But I just took an initiative upon myself to just really start pushing that out there a little bit more.
Yeah, man, definitely, definitely. Because that's, I mean, you see the Chinese, you see the Japanese, and that's how they're doing it. But yeah, man, you definitely get a win streak going again, and then get on it like that. Cameras everywhere, the social media thing, and just get it
Yeah.
going like that. Because that's how the UFC, that's how it's like they want to see the fighters build themselves up, and then they put the push behind them.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. I did two interviews with Sportsmax when I was down there.
Yeah,
The pre-fight with Conor McGregor and the post-fight with Conor McGregor. So they brought me on air. I think it was live actually,
yeah.
and we were talking about the fight beforehand and after. So I know that's like one of their biggest media outlets for all the islands down there for sports.
Yeah, that's it, man. Or even a training. I know because a training camp, it wouldn't be a lot to set up out there. I mean, the hardest part of it would be the sparring partners because there's not
Yeah,
there's not a
the
lot of
grap-
MMA fighters over there.
the grappling, everything. There's not much. There wouldn't be much down there.
So who you training with in the States? You training with any boxers or you just?
Mostly MMA. I mean, I train with boxers here and there. For the last fight, I did train with one boxer, a Haitian brother who was actually really good, 6-0. I think he's 7-0 now. He had fought like 2 weeks before I did, and he TKO'd the guy in the second round. And it was so funny because we were going. We only did 5 rounds, but they were calling me. They were comparing me to Tavon Farmer,
Oh,
which
Tevin
was
from
pretty
Philly,
funny.
Philly, Tevin Farmer from Philly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a good guy to be
Because of
compared
my,
to.
my movement, my footwork, and everything. So it took him a while to find me to really start landing. But once I started to get tired for that boxing cardio, he started to really land a lot more in that fourth and fifth round. But before then, I was doing all right and just utilizing my footwork, playing a lot of defense and trying to get off where I could get off. But it was good work, good work working with a guy like that. I think he's going to be a good name, good up and coming fighter to look out for sure.
And have you always worked with Matt Serra?
Yeah. Yep. He's helped me take my jiu-jitsu to another level, whole nother level. I came in just mostly wrestling with jiu-jitsu, but it was different. But now I actually understand a lot of the principles where I can just kind of freestyle and still keep those principles in mind and make the crazy stuff that I do. It makes it work.
The confusion. Or the chaos, even the chaos.
Yeah.
And what belt are you up to at the moment?
I'm a brown belt now.
Okay. How many years is it taking you to get that?
Well, I came down here 2013 in November 2013. I came down like April or something like that while I was training down here with these guys. So is that 4 years? 4 years? Yeah, 4 years.
Okay. And have you thought about 10th Planet doing any stuff down there?
No, we don't have a tenth. We don't have a 10th planet out here. But I don't really. I'm not looking to hop around gyms though. That's not really my thing to do. That's kind of shunned upon.
Well, isn't that to build? Not necessarily. I mean, I don't mean literally to leave and to go. I mean just to get experience with working with different people and stuff. Just adding some new tools, getting some new tools to your existing belts.
I mean, I go to Henzo's in the city. I try to keep it to our umbrella. The only time I really train outside of our gym or our umbrella is when I'm traveling like across the nation. Like if I'm going to California or something like that, and there's a team and they have their own jiu-jitsu gym and stuff like that. That's like the only time I really do that kind of stuff. When I'm home, I kind of stick to my own, but stick to my own. I cross train with those guys in the city. Those are some of the best guys in the world. What's his name? Ryan Gordon.
Right.
Four-time. What's his thing? EBI champion, absolute champion. So you got guys like that, man. That's down there training. Those guys are killers. So I'm getting good work. Our guys, I'm pretty sure our guys can contest with any of the other guys in any other gym and best those guys, But still, it's always nice to get different looks for sure. But I think if I'm going to do that, I got enough. I got roughly 60 guys to work with between the two gyms. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to go anywhere else.
Makes it off a little bit too much. You can confuse the plan. No, I hear that. So how long you reckon? I mean, you're not that old. You're pretty young yourself, aren't you?
28.
So how long are you going to give yourself? I know you've clearly got a thinker's mind. So I know you're not going to be, used as a punch bag. So are you looking? No. What's the grand plan?
I probably got like 4 more years left in this. 4 more good years. Then I move on to the next phase of my life, whatever that's going to be.
And what do you reckon in regards to getting that strap? What kind of time frame are you going to try and give yourself?
Well, I don't think it's going to happen next year unless I can rattle off three wins, and 2 of them could be big names. And the landscape just happens to just fall into my favor. But if not, then I guess early 2019, I just gotta make sure that I'm doing the right things, getting the right fights, and setting myself up for that opportunity.
Okay. And what's your opinion on weight cutting?
It sucks.
And do you have to cut? I mean, to get down to you were 135, right?
Yeah, I fight at 135. I walk around 60. Like this morning, I was 60. After my last fight, I was 167, which is the heaviest I've ever been. So it's not fun, man. It's probably it is the worst part about this entire fight game. I think any fighter would agree with that.
Okay. Now we're gonna go down some avenues with this. Was it the Sports Institute that UFC place in? Was it Nevada?
Yeah.
Is that open to all fighters to utilize and help them with their diets and their weight cuts on a whenever basis kind of thing, or is it like you go there get a plan?
All the fighters within the UFC, they have, I believe, full use and full access to it.
Okay. And if you obviously you haven't had a problem with getting obviously weighing day and stuff, missing weight and all that kind of stuff. You normally on point. Obviously, it's hard to do and stuff, but you don't normally have any issues in that respect, do you?
No, I mean I make it every time. It's definitely not fun, but I get it done.
So, I know the answer to this, I do know the answer to this. If you fought at 155, what do you think you wouldn't be as good at 135? Do you think you got more of an advantage at 135, or?
I would be probably the fastest guy at 155 if I would go up to 55. But I would definitely lack in size,
power and stuff
compared to most of those guys.
Okay.
Yeah, the weight cutting does seem like a horrible thing, man. Real horrible. Yeah. Especially the last few days. Some of them guys look real gaunt on the scales.